won't take me far and it don't make me feel afraid, 'cause soon I'll make us money by playing these old songs I wrote for you. I love it when you're listening, you always sing along, and how you hold my hand almost like you're reading my palm. So won't you come on over and tell me what my future holds? Oh, I hope it's you, where every little path I'm taking leads, every back and forth and in between. I hope it's you who's loving me. I'm not sure what it looks like when we both turn 34, but I know this growing older doesn't scare me anymore. Hey, I bet our song sounds sweeter with a little silver peeking through our hair. So if you want to talk or if you just want to be heard, I'll climb up all your thoughts and hang on every single word. Not sure there's just one for everybody, but I'm certain there's only one I want. Oh, I hope it's you, where every little path I'm taking leads, every back and forth and in between. I hope it's you who's loving me. Maybe there'll be days for us I don't remember how to love, and times when I don't always feel like home. And there'll be times it's hard to breathe when you put yourself ahead of me, and times when all I want to do is go. But that's okay, 'cause in the bad days I still hope it's you, where every little path I'm taking leads, every back and forth and in between. I hope it's you, I hope it's you. I hope it's you who's loving me. Some stupid pictures, some vacation, someone I don't know, and 10 expert opinions on some stranger's post. But then I know, much to my surprise, from a face I haven't seen in a long, long time, to say you're fine over a couple pages between the lines. You were really saying sometimes, I just wonder what it would have been like if you were with me. Don't worry, you're mine, I'm not crying at night. I just think of you sometimes. Sometimes he's walking his dog out on Venice Beach, said he came to Los Angeles to chase some dream. In 95 he said, I left my girls behind, and the time for second chances, it's been gone for a long time. I called her phone, I rambled on again, but after the tone, what I really meant was sometimes I just wonder what it would have been like if you were with me. Don't worry, you're mine, I'm not crying at night. I just think of you sometimes. Ooh, sometimes. And we say goodbye as if we're going places, and you can being shy. You can't keep your heart from saying sometimes. I just wonder what it would have been like if you were with me. Don't worry your mind, I'm not crying at night. I just think of you, I just think of you, I still think of you sometimes. Sometimes. Agape, please don't dissipate. Yeah, I know that I've got this all wrong. I'm reaching out to touch your voice. Baby, I'm clutching at straws. And even though your words hurt the most, I still wanna hear them every day. Say let it go, but I can't let it go. I wanna believe every word that you say, for I'm so scared of losing you, and I don't know what I can do about it, about it. So tell me how long, love, before you go and leave me here on my own. I know I don't wanna know who I am without you. I don't wanna know who I am without you. Oh, Agape, please don't dissipate. Yeah, I know that I've got this all wrong. Reaching out to touch you now, but baby, I'm clutching at straws. For I'm so scared of losing you, and I don't know what I can do about it, about it. So tell me how long, love, before you go and leave me here on my own. I know it. I don't wanna know who I am without you. I don't wanna know who I am without you. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know. Don't wanna know, for I'm so scared of losing you, and I don't know what I can do about it, about it. So tell me how long, love, before you go and leave me here on my own. I know it, yeah, I know it. So tell me how long, love, before you go and leave me on my own. I know it. I don't wanna know who I am without you. I don't wanna know who I am without you.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to the first Hope 2021 evening event tonight. We're very happy to have you with us, albeit from behind a camera.
We hope you've all been enjoying the music and have settled down with tea, hot chocolates or some snacks. And perhaps you're joining today with your friends, whether in flat or via watch party. And wherever it is, we're excited to have you all online, even though you can't be with us in person.
My name's Rebecca, and I'm a second-year medical student at the University of Edinburgh.
And I'm Josh. I'm a third-year information systems student at Heriot-Watt University. We hope you're staying safe and well, and we'd just like to reassure you that at this point this event is being recorded in accordance with government guidance.
This event tonight is part of a week-long series of events being run by the universities all around Edinburgh. We'll be looking at some of life's big questions and questions people may ask about Christianity.
This evening, our speaker, Kenny Robertson, will be helping us think about the question, Hope for Today, is there any good news? Kenny has worked with students across the country for a number of years and is now based in St Andrews. We're really pleased to have Kenny here with us today, and I'm happy to be able to invite him up now.
Absolutely, we are so excited to have you, Kenny.
Hi.
Kenny, before we speak, I would love to get to know you a little bit, is that right?
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kenny. I'm married to Anna. We have 3 kids called Bella, Archie and Hetty. We live in St Andrews.
Lovely. And I hear you're a student in Edinburgh. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I studied in Edinburgh a long, long time ago. I lived in Pollock Halls and Baird House. And then after that was on Spottiswoode Street and down in Polwarth Gardens as well. I did a year at Edinburgh University studying law, but didn't enjoy law. It wasn't for me. So switched to mechanical engineering. It's about as far away from law as I could get. But switched to Heriot-Watt at that point. So I then ended up as a Heriot-Watt graduate. And also did a year of ministry working with students at Edinburgh and Napier universities. So I know the city well.
Okay, well, welcome back to Edinburgh.
Thanks.
You're obviously speaking about Jesus tonight.
Yep.
So when did this become important to you?
Well, great question. So I grew up in a Christian home up in the Scottish Highlands, which I'm really grateful for, and so was brought up learning about the Christian faith and about the person of Jesus Christ. And I think my whole life I've sought to try and follow him. And I think that as I've got older, life has become more and more difficult through various things, which I'll mention at points during the week. But actually, I think what's been amazing about following Jesus has been that his hope, the hope that we have in him, has grown bigger with every challenge that we've had to face in life. So it's a real delight for me to come and speak about that this week.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Kenny. Kenny is now going to give us a short introductory talk to start us off the week, and I'm going to hand over to him now.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you, Rebecca, for your questions, and Josh for hosting as well. It's a real joy, as I've said, to be here this week to explore some questions about hope and questions about the Christian faith with you. It was some year, wasn't it, 2020? It was been a really rough ride. I don't know how it's been for you, but for all of us, in different ways, it's been extremely challenging. And it's not even just been coronavirus, has it? But actually, it's been difficult in all sorts of different ways, as if coronavirus wasn't enough to deal with. We've had Australian bushfires, we've had riots all over the world, riots to do with Black Lives Matter, we've had fights over toilet roll, and we've also had the small matter of the American election. There's been so much to navigate out there in the world, but also that's had a really great impact in here as well, hasn't it? I hit a real low point just a couple of weeks ago, just after Christmas, just in between Christmas and New Year. I think I was probably in the run-up to Christmas kind of hoping that, when we got to Christmas, there'd be this sense of, oh, we've made it. The new year's a new start and all that. But then there was this realization that we're not done yet. We're still in the grip of COVID. We're still in the grip even of 2020. And I think, when we look at the headlines that we've seen over the past year, and we think back on all that we've been through, you've kind of got to ask, is there any good news out there? And what I want to show you this week is that there absolutely is. At its very heart, Christianity is a message of good news. 2,000 years ago, in first century Palestine, a man called Jesus of Nazareth said these words at the beginning of Mark's Gospel. It says here in Mark 1, Jesus went into Galilee proclaiming the good news of God. The time has come, he said. The kingdom of God has come near. Repent and believe the good news. Now, what's he talking about? Well, I wonder what your most common response has been to things that have happened in 2020. Over the past 10 months, I think one of the most universal human responses to coronavirus and to the rest of the news has been fear. That's certainly what I've seen among my friends and among people I know on social media, and what I've seen in the news as well, especially at the start of the pandemic. People were really afraid of all sorts of things. There were lots of things to be fearful of. Many people were worried about their jobs, about losing their jobs. Maybe you were worried about what's going to happen with your degree. Are you going to get a job when you graduate? People have been really worried about loved ones getting sick, not being able to see people far away. The very real threat of death that's been hanging over our society. And general just anxiety about the wider state of the world. Many of the things over the past year, many of the things that we usually take for granted have been under threat on a daily basis. And fear might seem perhaps a strong word for that, but actually fear manifests itself in very normal situations, especially when we see extreme reactions to things. So think of the last time that you got really frustrated with your current situation, not being able to do the things that you normally are able to do, or maybe feeling out of control just with everyday life, or maybe you've had outbursts of anger at your flatmates or at your family for no real reason, or reasons that are just totally disproportionate to, or anger that's disproportionate to the situation. Or maybe you just feeling, as a lot of people I know are feeling, and myself too to some extent, just a heightened sense of anxiety. You see, these things often result from fear. And there's a sense in which coronavirus has drawn out people's deepest fears and has made them really very real. How do we respond to that fear? Well, in the culture we live in, we're often told that the right response to fear is to have confidence. So in usual situations, we're told to have confidence in something that can be overcome, something that can overcome the fear that we face. It's bigger than it. And in usual situations, we're often told to have confidence in ourselves. So we're told just to believe in ourselves, and maybe we can be confident in our own physical strength, or in our ability at our job, or in our financial security, or have confidence just in having positive thinking. But what's so scary about coronavirus is that all the things that we normally place our confidence in have been taken away. So where do we look now for a sense of confidence when we're feeling afraid? A more recent response to fear in 2020 has been the resurgence of the word hope. It seems to have popped up everywhere. Hope has been on shop windows. It's been in the newspapers. It's been on social media everywhere. My favourite was driving past a bus stop in St Andrews one day and seeing the big words in bold, "There is hope." And then as I drove closer, realised it was an advert for butter. You think, what's hope got to do with butter? It's appearing everywhere. It's kind of like culture saying, we're going to be okay. We just need to have hope, and we'll be fine. But it's a bit vague, isn't it? A bit ethereal. What do we have hope in? Do we just have hope in hope? What does that mean? Where can we look now when we're afraid for a sense of confidence, for a sense of hope? Hope is a really big theme in Christianity. It's a big theme in the Bible. But hope in the Bible means something a little bit different to what our common use of the word is. So hope in our culture is basically kind of wishful thinking. So I hope that the weather's going to be okay tomorrow. I hope that this year's going to be better. That would be really great, wouldn't it? But we can't really be certain about it. But hope in the Bible is much more solid. Hope in the Bible means being sure of the things that we look forward to, being certain of them, even if we can't see them. That's the kind of hope that we'll be looking at this week. And that's the hope that we really need in 2021. And what we now label confidence used to be called faith. And in the Bible, the antithesis to fear is described as faith. But again, it means something different to the way that we usually use it. So many people today think that faith is just another form of positive thinking. You know, as if we just muster up enough of it, then that'll give us the strength for everything to be okay somehow. But faith, according to the Bible, is not like that at all. Faith in the Bible is described as trusting in something bigger than yourself, that's not just wishful thinking or positive thinking. It's not just a figment of your own imagination, but it's something that you know both objectively and in your own experience, you can trust it. Something that is solid and true, something that is proven as trustworthy. Faith is putting your trust in that thing. And the Bible says that the only thing or only person who ultimately can be trusted when all else fails and all else is taken away is God himself. And we can learn that we can trust God by knowing his Son, the person of Jesus Christ. Faith in him is the only true antidote to fear. You know, do not be afraid is one of the most common commands in the whole of the Bible. And this week, I want to invite you to examine that with me by looking at 3 different recorded episodes in the life of Jesus that talk about this. So these 3 narratives are right next to each other in the Gospel of Mark. And within these 3 different narratives, Jesus confronts 3 or 4 different types of fear. Fear about suffering, fear about evil, fear about sickness, and fear about death. And between them, they paint a fascinating picture of what Jesus has to say about fear and faith that can bring real hope into our current situation. And so when we look at these passages in the Bible, we're going to explore some of the fears that we have, the fears that we have when the world around us seems crazy, when we feel the darkness around us and feel powerless in the midst of it, when we experience shame or stigma about our physical appearance or about our social standing or about our mental health, fears when we have to face up to the reality of death. We're going to explore some of these. And even though these accounts of Jesus were written 2,000 years ago, Jesus speaks directly into those experiences that we have today. And he says to you and me, don't be afraid. And if this is true, this is the best news imaginable. That's why we want to share it. This really is good news. It really is true hope for 2021. I would love you to come and explore this with me. And if you want to do that, then all you need are 3 things. One is a willingness to consider whether this might be true, an open heart to that. The second thing is some kind of device to watch these videos on. And the third thing is, if you can, I would really want to encourage you to find a copy of the Gospel of Mark from the New Testament in the Bible. Now, the Christian unions in your universities have loads of copies of this. This is Uncover. This is a copy of Mark's Gospel, and they would love for you to have a copy. So maybe if you know somebody who's in the Christian union at your uni, they may be able to get you a hard copy of this. But if you don't, or an easier way to do it is actually you can access this online, and there should be a QR code on the screen right now for you to scan, and that will bring you to the website, which has the text of Mark's Gospel on it. Of course, you're welcome to journey with me without having one of these, but I would really recommend that you try and get one, or that you look at it online, because everything I'm going to say over the next 4 evenings are all in here. And I want to say to you, don't just take my word for it, but I want you to have a look at it yourself and see what you think about it, whether it's true, and particularly what you think about the person of Jesus. Last week, we got a letter from the Scottish Government, you may have got it recently too, talking about the vaccines that are now being rolled out. And it was interesting, at one point it said that the vaccines are the light at the end of the tunnel, which is true, isn't it? I've never looked forward more to getting a jab in the arm than I am about getting this vaccine. But you know, it might be months away before some of us are able to get it, before things begin to go back to normal. And even then, will we still be afraid or not? Will that jab in the arm take that away? Or actually, will it just be a plaster over a very small wound when there's more going on underneath? Do you know, the hope that Jesus offers is far better and far brighter. He doesn't just offer light at the end of the tunnel. He is the light in the tunnel as well. And I hope you come and find out why. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Kenny. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions or would like to chat further about anything you've heard this evening, we'd love to help you with that. If you're watching with a friend who's part of the CU, I'm sure they'd be delighted to talk more about all of this with you. After the live stream, there will be discussion questions as well on screen. Perhaps you could chat about that.
We will also be hosting a Zoom call with Kenny and some of the other CU members right after this stream ends. If you'd like to join this, all you have to do is message the Hope 2021 Facebook page and they'll be able to send you the link for this. All questions are very welcome and we'd love to see you there.
As well as that, in the description box below, you'll find a form which can be filled out to connect you with a student in your uni who's part of the CU to chat about any further questions that you might have.
As we said at the beginning, this event today is is part of a series of events run by the Christian unions across Edinburgh. Tomorrow, at the same time, there will be another talk by Kenny, this time on the topic of hope for a stormy world. Is anyone in control? We hope that you'll be able to come back for this and join us again. Thank you.
Before that, we have a number of events taking place tomorrow as well. We're kicking that off with our breakfast show live at 9 a.m. on Instagram Live. Tune in for good fun, good chat, and excellent prizes.
That will be followed straight away by a story of hope video where a Christian will be sharing a little bit about how knowing Jesus has changed their life. And then a question of hope video at 1 p.m. where our speaker will tackle the very topical question, where is God in a coronavirus world? Perhaps you're looking for some lunchtime listening. Well, we've got you covered.
Each day at 12 p.m, we're also hosting an international event on Zoom. These events are aimed at international students, but even if you're not one, we'd love to still see you there. I know we've just bombarded you with a ton of information, but all of that can be found on our social media links. So give that a follow, and it's also available in the description box.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really pleased that you were able to be a part of this tonight as well, and we hope you'll come back again tomorrow as well.
Good night, have a great rest of your evening, and see you tomorrow.